Desperate times indeed tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Nissan Friday Nighter from Lang Park in Brisbane. The Broncos and the Sharks, and two teams, incredibly, who haven't won a match in over a month of Winfield Cup football. Billy Anderson, good evening to you. The Broncos are starting to lose touch.
Yeah, they are, Graham, but if they're going to turn it around, it'll be here at Lang Park. What they need is Miles to lift his game. If he does that, then their attack's going to fire. And if you look at their team, that'll show you that some of the changes they've made will address some other problem areas. Now, Hoff's full-back, the rest of the back line, Hancock, Curry. Curry's going to shore up that back line defence, and they needed that. Johns, Kahn, Walters and Langer, and the forwards, Miles, Conway. That's a significant change. He will improve their kicking game immeasurably. Gilmeister, Allen, Walters and Hone, and the coach, Wayne Bennett.
Will Wayne Bennett produce the goods tonight?
Yeah, I think the Broncos will win. I really like the look of those changes, and I think that'll fix a few areas that they've been falling down on.
Well, if it's vital for the Broncos, remote chance still for the Sharks maybe to start a surge. Wayne Pearce, last throw of the dice for them.
We've been saying that, Graham, for 2 or 3 weeks now. I mean, mathematically they can still make the finals, but they've got to win every game for the rest of the season, and I don't think that's possible. I think they're just going to provide nuisance value for the teams from here on in, and it could start tonight with the Broncos. They've got a side that's mixed up tonight with a few injury changes. Andrew Eddinghausen moves from the centres back to fullback. Corkery's on one wing. Tanoi's on the other wing. The centres, Mark McGaw backing up after the State of Origin. Paul Bell's the other centre who moves from fullback to the centres. Then we've got Teven at 5'8", he comes into the side, Russell. And then we've got Speechley who moves to lock, another change. Miller, who's the captain, Davidson, Lee, Staines and Diamond, and the coach is Alan Fitzgibbon.
Well, all those changes, does it mean success or not?
I think it'll be pretty tough for Cronulla to win this one, because I think the match means more to the Brisbane Broncos, and they're the side that really has to win.
All right, talking about the Brisbane Broncos, the side who Peter Peters earlier this year, you said you didn't like their chances of the semi-finals.
No, and they won't make it either, Graham. Neither side's won since April the 21st. Since the interchange changed, the Broncos have changed too. We're seeing in reserve grade Dowling and Tessman and players like that were used in first grade. They're not the side they were. I don't think that tonight's result's going to have any bearing on the semi-finals. I think both sides are exit stage left.
Well, what about the Broncos tonight, though?
I think they'll win tonight. They've got, at least they've got some hope of making the finals, and that'll spur them on tonight. And I think they've got enough good players there to get them home.
Okay, well, there it is from Peter Peters. Most of the team going for the Broncos. I think they should win at home here tonight at Lang Park. We will return here with all the first half action right after this break. Is there a national anthem? Okay.
That's it.
That was one good thing about Wednesday night. That massive crowd all singing the national anthem. First time we've seen so many sing the national anthem. Wednesday night, more than half.
Go out the ground.
No, but you get to see and the volume through your heads.
Yeah, it was magnificent.
And people that were there were telling me that was more than half the crowd really belted the song out. No, that's right, they didn't pick up on their shot. And a lot of the players did. A lot of the players sang the anthem.
Gaia didn't.
No. What about Blocker's interview? If he spat once, he spat about 5 times. Huh? Did they? Right on, mate. Gene Miles leads his Broncos out at home base Lang Park tonight as they search for a vital 2 points to complete this split round, round 10 of the Winfield Cup. Fireworks above. There was a mile of those on Wednesday night in the State of Origin. It was all on field. Maybe that's the sort of spark needed in Brisbane and Cronulla to get their minds on the job, back into a winning frame of being to keep them in touch. Mark McGaw, who scored that try to get New South Wales home. They need him in that sort of form. Eddinghausen back to fullback in this Cronulla side. He'll have a lot of chances in this one. Michael Hancock, one of the big contingent backing up. Teven, who goes to 5'8" for the Sharks, with a tough job against Kevin Walters. And Les Davidson, who will try and take on this Brisbane pack. Alan Langer, they say he is not anywhere near 100% fit. We stand by for the national anthem. Great scene is set here at Lang Park for the Broncos or the Sharks to get on the rails. And in control of this one, Graham Annesley. 8 points for the Broncos, 6 for Cronulla. It is not enough so far. The Sharks have lost their last 9 away games. That takes them back to July of '90 since they had won one. 2 matches apiece as these sides have gone head-to-head since '88. Last year, it was the Broncos who won here 20-8. Annesley gets us underway. Conway with the kickoff. Trying to hold this into the air to give his team plenty of time to get down there. Tanoy busting a couple of tackles just short of his own 22. Diamond charging into the line, and he bounces out of a couple as well. They've been saying that the Broncos have got to get some venom back into the forwards. They started in great fashion in this season of '91. Hone over the top.
The interchange system really knocked them about, Graham. They were getting great value from that, and the Broncos and Newcastle have been the teams that got great benefit from it, and they're showing the signs of not having it now.
Paul Hoff, as he did, or as he has been doing in the rep games, beating the first man nearly every time. Allen. And Hoffer was struggling with form. He's found it in the rep games. One of the real characters that emerged from last season. 158 points for Brisbane, 127 against, 148 for the Sharks. They've let more in. 27 tries the Broncos have scored this year. Only one behind the Sharks with 26. Johns. Last tackle against Brisbane. Gerard Walters looking for a kicker. On a short blindside, he finds Langer. Kicking across on the angle away from Eddinghausen. They've got to continue to keep the ball away from him for as long as they can in this game. Eddinghausen trying to step inside. Taken by Kevin Walters. Corkery. Quickly racked up by Tony Curry.
Cronulla have been disappointing in recent weeks, and their away form is awful, but if they can get a couple of early tries, and they're capable of doing that, they can run in some spectacular tries.
Danny Lee going low as Gerard Walters, a man who was out to show the rep selectors that he's back. He wants to go back to the big time. Good head-on hit by Allen. Teven backing up, gets near halfway.
Gerard Walters kept his brother Steve waiting. It's the other way round now. He won't get a look in until Steve Walters is either injured or has a dramatic loss in form.
It's an interesting one now with Steve Walters laying claim to a green and gold jumper.
Certainly is. I suppose if you've got to lose it, it's better to lose it to your brother than someone else.
Gerard Walters gets his front row together. Annesley not happy with the mark from this scrum. He sends them infield.
He's had some unhappy memories here. He'll be looking for a good one tonight too.
Ball trapped in there by the Broncos. Now it comes out for Langer.
I thought he knocked on.
Yeah, well, I think there could have also been a penalty go against some of the Sharks players. Well,
no doubt about it. Annesley was behind him and unsided.
Conway head down, trying to get it away from this danger zone of the Broncos. From dummy half is Allen. The Broncos were beaten in the last round by Balmain 14-4. The Sharks were down over in Perth on a Nissan Friday nighter by Parramatta 22-12. Conway keeping that kick low, but not away from Ettinghausen, straight to him. He unloads to Corkery. Must be a lot on Alan Langer's mind, Bill.
It's a big game for him. He came into it with an injury cloud very much over his head, but Graham, it was a game that they could never win without him, and I suppose, you know, a half-fit Alan Langer is better than most other people in the number 7.
Speechley gets Davidson going. They will have a penalty here to go nice and deep into the Brisbane territory. And it's ideal conditions here, Wayne. A little bit of a breeze, is it, behind the Sharks?
Yeah, but it's not really all that strong. It's just very, very faint, and in fact, it's dying off. It was much stronger about half an hour ago. The surface itself is perfect. Not much moisture in the ground at all. A very fast surface, and it should provide for an open game.
The Sharks to open it up right here through Tanoy. First opportunity for them to post points down at the other end. Danny Lee settling it down. 15 metres out. Heading towards the posts. Miller looking for runners. Staines on the run around. Speechley staying a dummy half. Miller again involved. Davidson trying to run through Alan Langer. He gets support from Kevin Walters. Miles was also involved. Speechley now. Ball goes astray. Teeman on a blindside. Just short. Now, was he tackled then thrown over?
Certainly was. That's got to be a penalty. And it is.
No, Annesley has let it go.
Oh, shit.
Now, Teeman just short of the line. Tackled. Put down. Curry rolls him over and throws him out. I think it should have been a penalty.
Yeah, it probably should have been, but that's the benefit of having Tony Curry in your front line. Great last-ditch defence.
The fact is, it should have been a penalty.
They're not going to come up with possession unless they can do it against the feed. No bonus for the Sharks. A big one for Brisbane. Even bigger as they get a penalty for Cronulla inside the 5. So this is a tough call. From having another set of 6 tackles.
They've been penalised twice, really, and I just think that he's missed a knock-on. He's given a penalty when he didn't give a penalty when it should have been given. The game's only a minute and a half old.
Hone. Lee went for the shoulder charge. He missed him. Cross Gilmeister for Allen. 0-0. The Sharks and the Broncos. Miles.
Gene Miles has got to pick his game up. Gene Miles and Greg Dowling, who was even on the bench at the end of reserve grade, their form has dropped since the start of the season, both in their testimonial years. And if the Broncos are going to put a bit of egg on the face and make the 5, Big Gino's got to start firing as from tonight.
They're getting a good chance to now as Hoff puts this one 32 out with another penalty. Hone. Gerard Walters looks to his skipper, stays with him, and on a run around trying to pick up brother Kevin, he spills it. Easy ball, just took his eyes off it, Kevin Walters. Staines with 6 more tackles.
Michael Speechley picked at lock for Cronulla in this game. He's spending a lot of time at dummy half, and in the early minutes he smoothed out their dummy half play a little bit, but Graham, him in there in the lock position, you could almost back him to win the tackle count, couldn't you?
Great defender, and it might be the added bonus for them to have him there a dummy half. Now Corkery.
Well, they're looking much more confident at the start of this game than in any game we've seen of them in the last month.
McGaw. They need him involved right throughout with Ettinghausen.
But what they've also got with Craig Teeman at 5'8" is a very good organising 5'8". Teeman has a lot of thought, puts a lot of thought into his game, and he's a very, very good organiser to have there.
Hoff again beats the first man. Real hero here at Lang Park. Gilmeister was barreled well and truly after he'd unloaded the ball. very late. Kevin Walters to Miles, good quick hands to Curry. Curry to Hancock, who's flying. Hancock now straightening, looking for Johns. Johns was hit just as he was receiving the ball. No, he wasn't, it was before, said Annesley. Line ball decision, this one, and it's favoured the Broncos again. Now, he was marked, and Hancock was looking for Curry, I should say Johns. I didn't really see a penalty in it.
It would have been a tough one for Barry Russell too, because he wouldn't have seen at what point Johns had touch of the ball and what point he didn't. He was unsighted. He just had to finish off the tackle.
Barry Russell, the man penalised, the former Rothmans medalist. And that makes it 3 straight to Brisbane. And the count to 3-1.
Conway kicking for the Broncos, and he's widely recognised as the best goal kicker in the club. He's not a player we've seen a lot of in first grade, and he hasn't played many games at all this year, but he is a good striker of the ball.
Yeah, and he's a good kicker in general play too, and that'll take the heat off Langer, who is their best kick chaser.
Well, this man has got to be online, because Terry Madison is in reserve grade, a man who has a 75% record in Winfield Cup this year, 18 from 24. Madison sharing a joke with his mates on the bench. From just about in front, 23 metres out, Conway converts it, and the penalty gives them the chance now to go to this early lead, 2 points to 0. Brisbane over Cronulla as the Sharks come back to halfway. The biggest result the Sharks have ever had over the Broncos was back in 1989, that dramatic playoff where they played so well, Cronulla, to win a semi-final berth.
Parramatta Stadium, it was an absolutely brilliant display, as good as they've played in the last decade in one game.
Some sensational tries, and it was 38-14 in 89. Allen quickly to his feet. Kieran Walters straight across field for Khan. They're keeping their line, the Sharks. Gilmister put down in no uncertain fashion by Diamond. Conway, pressure on him from Staines, still gets the kick in. Tanoy takes it at his fingertips. Underneath him is Gilmister. Eddinghausen to the front line. Quickly they go wide. Teven. Corkery now off his wing. Jace put down by Miles, 40 metres out from his own line. Danny Lee. Miller. Little chip for Eddinghausen and Russell. Annesley has them both onside. Eddinghausen had support, he didn't use it, he kicked away from them. Well, he had men outside. They can't trap him, or do they? They trap Khan on his own in goal. Eddinghausen, I think, had a better option to keep the ball alive. He had 2 men on his right.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He created the space. I don't know why he kicked ahead. They're going to get a result out of it, Cronulla, but it's not the result they could have got.
Now the kick went in, and it came off the side of the foot, running away from the two support players on his right. Maybe the wrong option from Eddinghausen. They'll have another opportunity with 6 more. Diamond got away from Gilmister.
Yeah, Gilmeister tried the Mark Geyer charge there, and it didn't come off. It really is a very fine line. Knock on by Cronulla on only the second tackle, Mark McGaw, and that's a blow to Cronulla just when they were mounting some pressure on the Broncos.
Trying to increase the pressure, and a simple mistake. Originally looking as if it came off the knee and the legs of McGaw, not a knock on.
Well, how do they get the feed?
This is a puzzle. I can't work it out. Can't understand the decision here from Annesley at all.
I certainly can't either. I'd love to help.
Now, Danny Lee. Once more they go inside the 22. Davidson, standing. He won't be able to get his arms free. 12 metres away, the Sharks. Russell with a gap up the middle. He was ankle tapped by Miles. One more tackle left for Cronulla. Eddinghausen. Big bomb for Hoff. Somebody's going to have to climb over the top of him. They get a hand to it. Off some Sharks' hands, and Walters only inches back into the field of play.
Lucky let off for the Broncos there. Hoff didn't look at all comfortable there. He was up higher without even jumping than the rest, but he didn't take it. There he is up off the ground, and it was knocked back. Staines couldn't handle it, and no Cronulla players coming through. There's a missed opportunity for Cronulla.
The Broncos working it away, and in this vital one for semi-final concerns for both sides. Johnny Croucher, what does Footy Tab tell us?
Well, Graham, the dividend pool on Pick the Score tonight's $46,000. And the Footy Tab entries favour Brisbane by a margin of over 2-1. Not much support for a field goal and very little for a draw either, Graham. The Footy Tab computer goes for Brisbane, 16 to 20 points for them, 8 to 12 for the Sharks.
Also favouring him is this heavy penalty count.
And a lot of them, Graham, he's getting them inside the 5, and they are indeed 10. Now, some referees have a 5-5 and some have a 10-5, and obviously Graham Annesley wants a big one tonight. As long as he's consistent, I don't care, but he's got to be.
Conway. Kerrod Walters tripped over one of the Cronulla defenders who was still around the play the ball area. 4-1 those penalties. Kevin Walters. Curry. Trying to push off Bell. Hancock. One of these jinking runs of his. Stopping and restarting. Always a handful.
Who would believe that he'd be playing tonight after that bone crusher he took on Wednesday night in the State of Origin?
Eddinghausen with enough time to get to that little kick put through by Langer. Who would believe any of them can really come out of that sensational game for this weekend?
I think we're going to find a couple of them really struggling in the Broncos midway through the second half. They'll want a big lead, the Broncos, because they've got more players that were in, and it's going to tell. I think it's a cruel ask to ask any player to back up 2 days later.
Danny Lee.
Well, in 2 weeks, Peter, they're going to have to back up against Canterbury without 9 of their players because the third state of origin going into that match with the 1-1 draw.
Yeah, certainly going to be tough for them, one, but of course they can't play on that Sunday prior to that state of origin.
Now Khan. First bounce straight into his arms. Beats one, beats two. Good run from Khan. This crowd at Lang Park just waiting for the Broncos to get something started. And a good crowd for a Friday night too. Kerrod Walters, that gave an awful ball to Gene Miles. Russell straightens. Miles wasn't even expecting the pass from Kerrod Walters. Davidson, 32 away from the line, and they are behind 2-0 Cronulla. Teven. Danny Lee standing too wide. On his knees, gets up. Gets it back for Corkery. But he's going nowhere with Miles just there. Switch to Teven. Teven sights some gaps up the middle. Midfield. Davidson. Much better as he had players outside him. Now back inside for Lee. Last tackle against Cronulla. They've had a fair amount of possession in the last 5 minutes down this end. Teven. The kick through to Hoff along the ground, trying to make the big man bend. He produces the big sidestep to beat Russell. Khan off his wing. Not really making any progress, the Broncos. Allen.
Yeah, they're not the side they were at the start of the season, are they? There's not that, they're not bursting onto the ball from deep. There's not a lot of unloading of the football. I know there's a lot of tired players there tonight, but the spark in the players that you'd expect to ignite them tonight just isn't there at this stage. That was almost a forward pass to Miles, not getting deep, and he was beside the dummy half in Kerrod Walters.
Conway. After trying to work so hard to get it away, they rely on the kick. But Corkery has a chance to bring it back nearly to halfway already. Only on the first. Bell allowed to gallop a fair way before he was put down. The tide turns for those penalties now. This will be a shot for Cronulla.
It's a big 5.
Right in front, but it is about 35 metres out.
Craig Teven, who of course was in the Brisbane Broncos reserve grade premiership winning side last year, decided to switch to Cronulla to get a chance at first grade, and he's got that opportunity tonight.
And on his own old home deck, just 2 goals from him in 91. Teven at 5'8" tonight was speedily going to lock. Now the added goal-kicking responsibilities. The crowd willing against the touch. Judges don't move. He drills it down the middle. They square it up here at Lang Park on the Nissan Friday nighter. Brisbane and Cronulla 2 apiece. The Broncos back for the restart at 2-2 from here at Lang Park. And an interesting interchange, Wayne.
Yeah, Andrew Eddinghausen coming off. He was actually shifted to fullback for this match to save himself because of the tiredness factor. He's actually going to be having a breather for a while, and remains to be seen whether he comes back on in this half, but he will be coming on back at some stage.
And Docking got it to Diamond. Now he's going to support him. Diamond on the inside to Docking, and Docking bounces back to his feet. So with his first touch, they've travelled 60 and 70 metres. Now wide to Staines. Staines has got Davidson on the inside, who puts it down. The pass was around his thigh and knees. They had the Broncos split. Hancock is trapped, but this pass from Staines a little bit higher, and Davidson was away. Maybe a pole that he still should have taken.
He certainly should have. That was a fair enough pass inside by Danny Staines. Davidson on the knee and just not keeping his eyes on the ball for long enough there. That should have been and could have been a try for Cronulla, and they desperately need it.
Just on Jonathan Dogging, Graham, you know he's played 73 first-grade games in a row before he missed this one, and it wasn't through injury. That's not a bad effort for a bloke 78 kilos.
Well, he's done the right thing so far. He's been on there only seconds. More mistakes, a little bit of pressure building here against Brisbane as they put it out on the full. Miller being asked to come over for a chat. Touch judge in as well. Not quite sure what this is all about. Also, Gavin Allen was called over. Maybe this can add to it. A backhander there to Gilmeister from Miller.
They've got some aprons on the sideline they're going to give them a bit later. Fair dick. Fancy calling somebody out for a slap. In the forwards. Hope he doesn't get a state of origin game.
Well, holded proceedings. If that's what it was all about, then a chip on the run would have been enough. Miller straight into it.
Well, he didn't have much choice, in fairness, when the touch judge ran on.
Was he on for that?
I wasn't so sure that he was. Lee. Territorially, the Sharks have been taking over. Teven to Bell. Taken solidly by Tony Curry. Staines to the line. Beating Kerrod Walters. Ran straight through him. Last tackle. Now Miles has got 10 minutes.
What for, he said. You can see him mounting.
Stealing the ball. From an offside position. I think that's a pretty fair call.
Yeah, it was a fair call.
Professional foul from only 5 metres out from the line.
It was a fair call, no doubt about it, but Gene Miles said, what for? And I think Gino knew what for.
Miles disappears. And as Teven sets this goal, Diamond will go back to the bench. One from one for Teven. About a dozen metres to the side of the post. Trying to put their nose in front. No goal. An easier attempt for him, but it stays 2 apiece. Down to 12 men. No doubt, Langer will take over from here while Miles is off.
It's a big drop kick from Hoff on the fly, almost to the opposite 22.
This is going to be a tough 10 minutes in defence for the Broncos. They've got to lift themselves. They're already missing first-up tackles.
That's a tough tackle, but I think Conway came off second best. He's clutching at a shoulder after tackling Tenoy. Back they come again. Teven. Dolling looking back on the inside. 22 tackles in the opposition half. A mere 7 for Brisbane.
And Terry Dolling's on there for Craig Diamond, who came off with severe nausea. He was actually in bed until 5 p.m. This evening, and he's very, very sick at the moment.
So Diamond with the bug. And Dolling getting his chance. Teven with a little chip. Well read by Hoff, and he busts clear. Cameron Walters, that's another headache bill for selectors when you think about Belcher trying to make his way back, but Hoff has played so well.
Well, he has played very well, but I would expect that Hoff would believe that Belcher's going to come back into their state of origin side. He is the #1 fullback in the world.
32 out from their own line. Conway. Now, Mark Hone has been split open. He'll go to the bin for a break himself. Langer with a good kick too over the head of Corkery and finding touch perfectly inside the 22. So injured or not, he pulls out a fine kick. They've been in a lot of trouble, Brisbane, and now he takes the heat off a little with this one as they go downtown where they haven't been for quite some time.
Touch judge in, and this could be a tackle on Mark Hone. There's Davidson being spoken to.
Looking rather concerned is Davidson. But it is just a warning from Annesley.
He's not as concerned as Hone is.
Now the trainer has obviously asked Annesley to go and have a look at Hone for some reason.
Well, to tell him.
Well, there it is.
To make sure he's in the blood bin.
It doesn't then count as one of their interchange players.
Exactly right. Once the referee sees the blood, he then it's not counted as interchange, as Wayne said, and there's plenty of claret coming out of his head.
Les Davidson did not miss.
No, he didn't.
And the news on Andrew Eddinghouse is not too good either. He won't be back onto the field because he has a lower back strain, and the Cronulla club are rescuing him.
So that is vital for Cronulla.
That's a body blow to the Sharks. They're really going to have to dig deep now.
Russell. Dummy from Russell. Back for Corkery, who's been hanging around midfield looking for an opportunity. 3-2, Cronulla have the scrums. G is out there in 12 after starting from the bench in this, being rested from Wednesday for the opening to this game.
I thought he was a magnificent performer for Queensland on Wednesday night, amongst their best. I actually thought he was their best player. I thought he competed all night and really came of age as a real representative forward.
Teven. This kick in behind Khan sends him to the in goal. And good chasing too. He'll play it 9 metres out. The Broncos turned around. Their forwards taking some time to get back there. Hoff. 2-2. The Broncos and the Sharks. Allen.
At this level, football's all about field position, and at the moment, all the field position going with Cronulla, but they're not converting it into points. Brisbane have got to get the ball up the other end.
It makes it hard for them when you know that Alan Langer can't probably run as much in this match as he wants to.
You get the impression, though, that if Brisbane get a go, like Cronulla have had at the Brisbane line, that they can come up with tries more.
Yeah, but I can't understand that if Brisbane are fatigued and tired going into this match, why they don't kick earlier in the tackle count. They're working it out in their forwards for 4 and 5 tackles before they kick, which to me is a bit counterproductive.
They kick on this occasion. Tanoya's trapped by Khan.
Well, none of their forwards played except Andrew G, who's just come on Wednesday night, so you can't blame fatigue for their forward performance tonight.
A lot of possession for the Sharks. Bell plays it back 34 out. Lee. He is a real workhorse in this Cronulla side, always taking the ball up. Teven. Corkery. Last tackle. Speechley to Teven, under a little bit of pressure. Straight down the throat of Michael Hancock.
There'll be some side steps here.
Well, Speechley got to him easily. Now there's the big side step from Hoff back to Hancock, who gets another chance, and another chance for Speechley to get him.
He doesn't miss too many, Michael Speechley. Once he zeroes in, it's curtains.
Johns. Kieran Walters. He's deciding it's about time I open up the middle. Back to brother Kevin. Another penalty because Kevin Walters was tackled before he had it. That goes against Davidson. He's been quick to call these tonight. And I think he's right on this occasion that Davidson did get to him before the ball did.
Vital period, 10 before half-time at 2-all, and this game there for the taking for either side, and a try just before the break is exactly what they'd both be aiming for now. It certainly is going to be a good opportunity for Bronco. I don't think Hoff's too happy with that football.
He threw it away, and Annesley threw it straight back to him. And they exchanged some words too. He looked a little bit upset, Annesley. And Hoff looks likewise.
Yeah, he does. He never used to speak. Now he's even complaining about the footballs. That's confidence for you. Talking giraffe.
Conway. The crowd comes alive as the Broncos come down to the 22 and in possession. Kieran Walters. Dummying, looking for the runner, he finds Curry. He just ran to the gap. Hancock. Upended strongly by Bell. They're running out of tackles. Langer with the option to kick or go wide. They keep it alive. Good play and an overlap. Johns, can he get it out there? Khan to the corner. Chased, put down by Docking. Throws it back to keep it alive for Langer. Some brilliant play, good hands. Finally, the defence arrives in time in the shape of Miller. So a chance on the 6th, and they nearly got there through it.
Yeah, brilliant play by the Broncos there. Some excellent keeping of the ball alive, and Chris Johns bursting onto that football, onto the pass from Langer, and he is in superb form, Chris Johns.
Johns goes back from being the opposition to a teammate tonight after taking on most of his Bronco mates on Wednesday. Docking to Davidson. Now that was an easy 10 and 12 metres as the defence just stood back. Miller trying to get it back. No knock on, said Annesley. Felt the ball roll back to Docking.
Great pickup by Docking, and this goes to show you the fact that he's been dropped for the first time in 8 years. He's keen to do well, and it certainly worked with him, even 15, 20 minutes on the bench.
Hancock. He's not having any success at getting clear. 2-all. Hoff. More work required from Brisbane. Switch of play. Curry was looking for a winger, no one outside him. Back to Kevin Walters. Kieran Walters. Dummying. Now back to Kevin. Gilmeister. Mistake just outside their own 22. Still no try in this game.
The Broncos hanging on well with one man short. Gene Miles still in the sin bin, and he must be getting close to coming back on.
Danny Lee. He heads it away from where the Cronulla team was. Now they look back for the switch. And McGaw charges onto it, straight up the middle. McGaw nearly got to the last line of defence. Miles trying to get back out there. Time to go back to a full 13. He's just being kept at the gate, so it's still 12 men. Dolling. And the 12 are hanging on. They've pushed Cronulla to the last tackle. Speechley to the in goal. Sitting up, but now bouncing dead. Back to the 22. They survive again as Miles reports in. Johns quickly with a restart, trying to catch the Sharks out. But they were back to their line pretty quickly as well. Miles is back as skipper. Allen.
Yeah, they're finding it. They're really working uphill here, Brisbane, to get the ball out of their quarter. They need Miles to make some power runs, about 2 in every 6.
Khan. Not really getting it together, Brisbane.
Just not connecting for them, and it's hard to put your finger on why, but that teamwork, that spark that was there early in the year is missing.
They haven't really had much field position either, Billy. They've struggled to get into an attacking area to put something on.
Look at the little fella on one leg, Alan Langer, and he really is struggling out there. Courageous performance from him to be there.
His ball heading to the sideline from Hoff. As we go down to the last 5 minutes before half-time. Some tired Brisbane forwards get some relief at last. Dan Staines having trouble getting down in the front row. Now he does. Russell. Russell away from the scrum base. Corkery.
He's taken a lot of pressure off the forwards, Matthew Corkery. That's something that Cronulla haven't been doing in recent weeks. Their wingers haven't been coming in and taking the workload off the forwards. You have to do it in rugby league in 1991. The sides that with the big strong wingers coming in and taking it for a tackle or two are the sides that are doing well. Tanui too has done a good job for Cronulla in that aspect.
Teven, a dummy to Davidson. The second occasion he stays with Staines. Kicking time for Teven. Confidently tapped up in the air by Hancock. Beats Russell. Runs into a dead end. Davidson.
Dale Shearer's on for Alan Langer.
So Langer gets a breather and Shearer's out there. In 42 with his first touch. He's only just walked on the field.
Well, he made an impact at State of Origin when he came on, and still a brilliant player, Dale Shearer, and scored a try the other night, and I'm sure that Wayne Bennett wants him to do exactly the same tonight. He's a player that can turn a game.
More penalties for inside the 5. Cronulla have been dominating territorially, and they're dominating the penalty count, but on the wrong end. They keep on giving them away. Miller's going to ask the question of Annesley. And likewise, Annesley laying down the law to the Sharks. Stay behind me. Miller relayed that to his forwards especially.
Of course, the captain has the right to ask the referee, but it doesn't do much good.
Andrew G. 2-all, 3 minutes out from the break. Miles. Russell looked to be in an offside position then. Shearer. Swiveling. Dummy trying to put the defence off. He didn't. Kevin Walters. Inside for Gilmister. Gilmister still going to Curry. Turns his back and then keeps the ball alive. Off to Hancock. No room for Hancock at all. Last tackle. Close to the line. It's been good defence from both sides. Maybe not now. Kevin Walters miraculously got it back. Now Shearer with a kick that's allowed to bounce. No. A diving take from Miller.
Penalty to Cronulla in front of the kicker. Miller took that well in his own in-goal area anyway. It would have been a tap from the quarter, and certainly Cronulla should see it out to half-time. 2 minutes to go, and there's the kick through. Gavin Miller covering back.
Well, he didn't take it in the in-goal, so it would have been a line dropout if the penalty didn't come.
Would have been for sure. He did take it and then end up in the in-goal area.
Six tackles and 6 tackles vital for Cronulla. They don't need a mistake now. Time running out before the break. Speechley. A lot of defence from him. Slow play the balls. An eye on the clock, Cronulla. Their skipper Miller will play at midfield, 32 out. Davidson. 40 metres out, and we're going down to the last 60 seconds.
He was tonight getting a look at Danny Staines, one of the rare occasions I've seen him without his headgear on, and I dare say that Danny would not be recognisable for a man of his status in the game to a lot of league fans, simply because they never see him without his headgear on.
3 defenders on Willie Kahn. Keeping this ball alive with about 40 seconds to play with Brisbane. Hoff is staying in the line. He just sits that up for Curry. They want to try before the break, even from a long way out. Conway working into it. Miles taking over. The captain to lead the way. Busted 1 tackle. Gerard Walters up the middle. Supported by brother Kevin. Tried to keep it out there for Johns. Cronulla come up with it. Knock-ons both way. Annesley is ruling.
Desperate stuff from Brisbane right on the break, and perhaps they should have been playing that sort of football a lot earlier, because they certainly look much better when they throw the ball around. There's the siren, and that's it for the first half.
Scrum won't even have a time to form. And a tough, hard first half for both sides territorially. It favoured Cronulla. The scoreline, though, is locked together at 2 apiece on Nissan Friday night from here in Lang Park. We'll be back right after this. I've got no doubt about that, especially if it's the Sharks that can't get up here tonight, Bill. So everybody's looking for tries. The fans and the teams.
Craig Diamond back for Cronulla, so he's obviously feeling a little bit better now, Graham. And he was probably their best forward in that first half while he was there.
One great break that could have led to something, and a long run from near his own line.
Has really got to get involved a little bit more. That great try late on Wednesday night. His confidence must be sky high, and he needs to show them the way.
Interesting, as we look at the sponsors on the jumpers of both these teams, there's definitely going to be one winner in this. Bernie Power
Yeah,
from Powers Brewery, who sponsors both sides.
No, that was good, mate.
Great supporter of rugby league. Annesley looking for both captains. He's lost one. He's trying to say, where's Gene Miles? He's found him now. 110 tackles to the Broncos, 99 to the Sharks. Gerard Walters with 15 leading for Brisbane. Davidson with 15 for the Sharks. Make it 16 as Davidson's first up to start the new half. Allen bringing it away. 40 minutes to really think about it. You would expect so much urgency in the play of both sides. Across Miles to Gilmeister. Quickly for a kick. Conway under pressure. Hoff's under pressure. Hoff getting away. Getting his kick in. Down to Tanoi. Now, again, that's the instance where players can think about it. Not too many players really think about the rules here when they're close to the sideline of putting 1 foot over the line and making the ball out on the full.
Yes, Graham, that would have been a really sensible move there for Tannoy, but I just don't think he was game to even have a crack at it, let alone try and be a bit fancy and do the Canadian three-step while catching it.
Well, he left it alone. He knew that they'd probably get it back with the feed. It would have been valuable to go back down near the Broncos 22 with the feed.
Certainly would have been, and I think it's something that all wingers and fullbacks should be looking at. You've got to get that edge, and that certainly could have provided it there.
Danny Lee, 40 out from his own line. Do a struggle between the Sharks and the Broncos. Docking had no one to pass to. He had to dash from dummy half. On the last now for Speetsy to kick from dummy half. Miles put him off balance as he was trying to kick. Off. Taken by McGaw. Now Khan. Waiting for somebody to really cut this game open. G. Both sets of forwards still trying to get over the top of each other.
Wayne Pearce, any news on Alan Langer? The Brisbane Broncos desperately need him out there. Is he out for the game or will he come back?
No, he's still on the sideline ready and waiting to go out again. But at this stage, Coach Wayne Bennett is elected to keep him fresh. And hopefully, from my point of view, I'd like to see him out there again later on.
Last tackle. Crowd thought there was a hand in that from Cronulla. They didn't get 6 more. Docking. Taken 9 metres out from his own line. This was what the first half was all about. It was Cronulla who applied the pressure to Brisbane. Tannoy trying to get clear. Diamond. Wrestling with players and keeping it alive for McGaw. McGaw a little chip. Bad kick to give the Brisbane a turnaround.
Yeah, certainly was. I mean, if he was going to kick it, he should have kicked the leather out of it and kicked it right up the other quarter. Now they're in a lot of trouble. Brisbane coming on stronger. They seem to have more urgency in their play.
Gilmister. They had an overlap if he could have shifted it quickly. Kevin Walters turns back the other way for Kevin Walters. Miles. 2 apiece. Across Karen Walters for Shearer to pick up. Back to Karen Walters now. Last tackle against Brisbane. Kevin Walters with a short blindside to the in-goal. Docking is there. Throws it over the in-goal line to make it dead. So Brisbane will come back with more pressure and more possession from the line dropout.
Yeah, they've certainly started the second half a lot better. Kevin Walters, a grubber kick into the in-goal. Docking had to clean up. He had no alternative there but to put it over the sideline in-goal. Line drop out for Cronulla, and back the Broncos will come at them. I suspect that the Broncos, in this early 10-minute period in the second half, are going to apply all the pressure on Cronulla. Here's Hoff returning the football.
And these are the circumstances where I worry about the new rule stealing the ball. When you're really desperate for 2 points that can win a match, you get under their posts, get hit in a gang tackle, hand it over, get the penalty, game, set and match.
Could be important, and it could be an important ploy in this tight one. Good ball away from Allen. Much better to Conway. Tremendous support amongst the forwards. Kevin Walters to the back. Shearer fired it out and fired it low around the knees of Johns. Not an easy ball because it was drilled at him. He's disappointed that he couldn't hang on, but he really let it go, Shearer.
Yeah,
and running full bore and low.
It was a bit low, but Chris Johns normally takes those, and he'd be disappointed with that.
Teven. Well, that's incredible about the Mark Geyer incident. After meeting with the ARL panel and getting 5 weeks to miss 6 matches, including the State of Origin, not back on deck until the 1st of July. All those details in full. Now, Eyewitness News 2nd edition tonight. You'll be reading and hearing a lot more of that one. Quite sensational.
That puts him out of Test football too, I'd imagine too, Graham, and that's tough luck when the referee saw the incident and gave a penalty. I think it's been a witch hunt instigated by media pressure as far as I'm concerned.
One wonders if he should have been the only one to front the panel.
Yeah, exactly right. He should have had a few mates in there, in my opinion, too.
Here. Back to this match. And again, those details in our second edition news. McGaw beautifully across in cover defence. Trying to turn him over and put his leg over the sideline. G. All of a sudden, it's Brisbane starting to look a lot better, starting to build in attack.
Yeah, as much as anything, this next 40 minutes is a test of character.
Shearer. John saw that there was a chance on his inside. Closed quickly by Speechley. Kevin Walters. Hop. One-handed to G. Took it well. Johns, nobody home. No one at home at all. Magnificent. Oh, super thinking from Johns. He saw that they were all in the line. What a beautiful try. Well thought out.
He's the informed player in the Brisbane Broncos and in the New South Wales backline. Kevin Walters got the ball to Hoff. Hoff, a pass inside. Well picked up by Andrew G. He gave it to Chris Johns. He sized the situation up beautifully. He got the nice bounce and was there for the try.
Jonathan Docking's the man to keep your eye on here. Now, he was not at fault at all. He stayed up in the front line trying to tidy up a pressure that was mounting here from the Brisbane Broncos. There he is going in to make a tackle. Now he bounces back to his feet, but that's too late. Chris Johns read that there was no one at home, had too much start on Barry Russell and collided with him as he went over.
He took off like a big Ansett jet. 27 years of age, got his nose up, flew over the line. And nicely for Conway too to score this one next to the posts. He's taken it back 11 metres, Conway. They get the break that they were looking for. And they make it 100% with a converted try. They get away from the Sharks a little. 8-2, Brisbane over Cronulla. On this and Friday night around there is 6 points separating Brisbane and Cronulla. They try to vary the kick off the Sharks. Something different nearly worked as Russell was streaming through on Kerrod Walters. 40 metres out, 32 I should say, out from their own line. Gilminster, big collision as he and Staines came together. Kerrod Walters, back to G. Miles, everybody hung off him. Johns might get his second, no. Inside! He spilled it. Line was open. Kevin Walters should have taken that one, and that should have been another next to the post.
Yeah, great run by Miles, and he did everything right. Not often you see Kevin Walters spill the lollies with the try line wide open, but he did then, and he can't name the parts. Great run by Gene Miles. Have a look on the Nissan replays, looking around for support, and always backing up Kevin Walters, but that pass hit him on the chest and bounced backwards. Try gone begging.
It should have been a regulation. So the Sharks stay alive in this match because of that mistake. Teven. But the importance of this 2 points to Brisbane is starting to show a little more than the Sharks.
Help. Danny Lee kicks, and he kicked that like a miner out of Cessnock. Terrible looking kick.
No pay dirt. Out on the full, and Brisbane with more possession. Kevin Walters to Johns. Looking for their second try. They should already have that. Hancock. He's infield, sensing that this Cronulla side is tiring and opening up. Allen easily to the advantage line and takes it inside the 22. Kerrod Walters tries from dummy half, no good. Supported though by Miles out the back door for Conway. Trying to switch it. Walters just throws it over his head for G. Miles, standing, now starting. And getting it to Hoff, keeps his hands free cleverly. Shearer to Khan. Khan slipping as he comes to docking. 5 metres away, they've got one more tackle to produce the try. Kevin Walters, kicking. 6 more tackles. Kerrod Walters realised it came off a Cronulla player.
They're a different team when Gene Miles gets involved in their attack.
Langer is on the bench, but they're lifting their own form. Those out there. Allen in front of the post and 10 metres away. Miles wants it back this side. Miles strolls over. Big and strong, plenty of experience and class. But the defence wasn't there. He took the advantage and he waltzed across the line.
He's had a good last 10 minutes, Gene Miles. And on the listen replay, we'll see Big Gino coming into the game through some paper-thin defence. The Sharks have had enough now. He takes Lee with him, stretches out, puts the ball down for a good Bronco try.
If Brisbane had any guns, tonight was the night they had to fire them. Gene Miles realised that and pressed the trigger himself.
A captain's knock involves one where you set the example, and Gene Miles realises that tonight is do or die. He takes the bit between the teeth here and goes over, scores a try, a valuable try.
29 years of age, the Brisbane skipper. 3 tries for him this season, and he gets the 2nd try for the Broncos in just 4.5 minutes. Gavin Miller, realising that 1991 is slipping away, lets his teammates know all about it.
And he can talk all he likes behind there, Graham. They just haven't got it this year.
No, from minor premiers back in, what, 88?
Yeah, they're really struggling tonight again. There's no penetration in their side at the moment. That's the big problem. They normally are a side that can score long-distance tries, but that's not been seen tonight. There's a lack of pace.
Conway. Halfway between the post and the sideline. Hits it pretty well. Right on line again. Brisbane scooting away. 14-2 over Cronulla. Plenty to cheer about now in this second half. Back in business, the Broncos. Teven with this kick. Taken on the 2nd attempt by Kevin Walters, now for Khan. Gavin Allen. The changing face of this Winfield Cup as we travel again on Sunday. We've been getting on and off the Ansett Jets week after week. It's hard to find a metropolitan game these days as far as the heart of Sydney is concerned.
Certainly is, Graham. We've got a Friday nighter at home next week, which is going to be good.
Yeah, it's down to Wollongong on Sunday for our MMI big game, and a tough one for Manly having players back up as they take on the Steelers down there.
We're not going Ansett, are we, to Wollongong?
We might get an Ansett bus. 38 metres out, the Sharks needing an instant reply. Teven. Eddinghausen, of course, won't be back with this back injury. So the likes of McGaw have really got to stay involved now. Russell kicking, but kicking way too long. So under pressure and mistakes because there didn't appear to be a lot of thought into that one. G.
There's still a lot of spirit in this Cronulla side though, Graham, because a couple of their players, namely Craig Diamond, who's still violently ill, toiling away out there, and Danny Staines, who has got a neck problem that received about 10 minutes of intensive physio at half-time. They're still battling away, and they won't give in. It's as simple as that. They'll keep toiling away and hope that this Brisbane side will continue to tire. Not looking that way down, though.
No, not with these penalties coming their way as well.
And as Cronulla continue to tire, this is where Kerrod Walters will come into his own. He'll be looking for those little darts, and he'll have a dab on his own out of dummy half.
this is a bonus for Brisbane. They're going to get through this game without having to use Langer up to any great extent. He can have a rest now.
41 tackles now for Brisbane in the opposition half. 37 to the Sharks at one stage. It was 22-7 in favour of Cronulla. 6 more. Hoff. Could be try time again. Shearer. 15 metres out. Hancock. It will be a big performance for them to be able to leave Langer there right throughout, as we said. Kevin Walters threw a couple of dummies and then nearly put G over. They look to be short. Johns decides to try and steal it from dummy half, but he didn't get away with it. Kevin Walters shows it one way, back to Gilmeister, and the line was caught napping then. They moved up on the outside, no one home on the inside, and Gilmeister says thanks very much.
On the Nissan replay, you'll see Kevin Walters, who bombed the try a few moments ago, set one up, and there's Walters now, passing the ball back inside to Trevor Gilmeister, and Gilly goes in, strong and hard, good forward try.
Gene Miles attracted a lot of attention on the outside of Kevin Walters, so what he did was simply turn it back on the inside, and Gilmeister was there waiting.
Yeah, Kevin Walters has had a big game tonight. They were mesmerised, the Cronulla players, by him here. They stood up and hung off. No mark of defence on the inside, and that results in what could be the clinching try for Brisbane.
Certainly should be. Gilmeister, the man they call the Axe. Known for his defence, he's got 2 tries this year. Not much to cheer in the first half. Loving it all here in the second. The Lang Park crowd.
I wouldn't be exactly breaking open the champagne, though. I mean, Cronulla haven't really been a side in 1991 to stretch many, and there's Wayne Bennett, and he won't be all that enthused over this performance tonight, although the 2 points is vital for them.
I think he'll be delighted.
Well, he will be with the 2 points, but he wouldn't exactly be doing handstands over the performance.
Make that another goal for Conway. He's come into the side to kick 4 and send the Broncos to a 20-2 lead. (20-2) to the Broncos on our Nissan Friday night, after the score being 2-2 at half-time. Annesley just hesitating.
18 points in 19 minutes for the Broncos in the second half, and Cronulla at the moment are really not competing in this football game. They've got to tighten their defence and at least make a game of it, or this could end up in the 40s.
Annesley was hesitating because Conway has just been replaced. Now that massive roar you just heard was the news that we broke to you a few moments ago about Mark Geyer. I certainly wouldn't like to think that we could support something like that in the suspension of a young player, whether he has come off the rails and done something wrong or not. Young man under a lot of pressure from a very controversial game. Docking standing under this midfield bomb. And Docking gets clear. Good run from Docking, chased by Kieran Walters. Put down. Teven. To Miller with a short ball to Bell. They haven't had much possession, the Sharks, since half-time. They'll get even more with a penalty. Shearer. Incurring the wrath of Annesley in this play of the ball. Well, he put the man down playing it as he was trying to get back the ball. Teven finds the sideline just near the 22. Can't remember the Sharks being down here since the break. They'll have to meet up with that defensive line. Tanoy does. 7-5 the penalties to Brisbane. Lee. 14 missed tackles against Cronulla. Teevan's tried hard against his old club tonight. Russell. Dolling off a short ball from Russell. Not giving enough to cause too many problems for Brisbane. Miller. Trying to will and show players into the right holes. Russell, 5 metres out. Quickly from the play the ball to Tanoy. Tanoy puts it down. Renoff's away. Here comes a chase. McGaw getting across. He beats McGaw. Taken by Docking. Quick play the ball, and the Sharks are in real trouble as everybody tries to find their seats. Kevin Walters, numbers left over. Shearer, Hoff straightens, gets his hands clear. Curry, Miles, magnificent, dazzling stuff. A super try. Forget about their seats, they'll be back on their feet. An intercept, they go the length of the field after one play the ball, and Shearer gets the 4 points after some beautiful passing.
Yeah, some wonderful passing along the back line here to the Broncos. Gilmeister standing out wide, a long pass to Shearer. Shearer onto Hoff. Hoff steps inside Bell, gets the pass away. Backing up Gene Miles again, and then Shearer for the second time in the movement. Careers over in the corner for an excellent Brisbane Broncos try.
Yeah, you're going to see it on the Nissan replay. I'm sure when they invented the game of rugby league that this was the sort of football they had in mind, and it's the sort of football that Brisbane play best. Hoff there caught in a tackle, gets the ball back to Curry, back on the outside Miles, and hasn't he played well tonight and made all of the difference on to Dale Shearer, who surges across.
We haven't heard a lot about Shearer since the start of the season. He's back in rep football. He's back in this Broncos lineup, top grade. 2 tries so far for him this season.
And the word is he won't be with the Broncos next season.
And also he asked me to point out before the game, he said, I'm going to score a try so you can tell everybody where it says occupation, he needs one.
Not going back to Manly, is he, Pete?
No, definitely not.
Madison, the man that we were talking about, who has a 75% record in goal kicking this season, 18 from 24. He's on for Conway, who left tonight with a 100% record. He's only just got out there, Madison. And this kick from wide out. Unsuccessful. But the Broncos so impressive now in their second half. It is 24 points to 2. Can have a laugh to himself now. Don't get up, girls. Damaging second half for Cronulla. Interesting, Pete, the Big League magazine this week had it on the front cover. Backs to the wall for the Broncos.
Yeah, they've pulled it right. Some interesting stories in Big League, and certainly the Brisbane Broncos backs to the wall fight, highlighting it.
Oh, well, more than backs to the wall now. Hancock is clapping it on. Docking and Hancock. Hancock gets away. Now, Corkery was claiming that he was impeded. Annesley's not going to have anything to do with it. Hancock gets another stunner, but have a look at the replay. Were Cronulla impeded to stop him?
Once again on the Nissan replay, good work by Andrew G, who's really improved his ball play. He got the ball to Michael Hancock. Hancock, when he runs hard and straight like this, is one of the best wingers in the game. Steps inside, Docking, beats Docking, and back inside. I don't think there was any impeding there of the man, the defender. I don't think they would have got the flying Michael Hancock.
Brisbane carving them to pieces now all across the paddock here. Hancock leaves defenders strewn in his wake. He makes a break down the left-hand touchline, has a look over his shoulder just to check on the cover defence and the support, but decides he doesn't need them. He beat Docking there. Corkery was impeded, but I don't know that he would have got to him, and he crosses in the corner.
No, there was nothing in it. Running shoulder to shoulder, Corkery had no complaints really.
Isn't he a much better winger when he runs straight like that? And
No detours.
No detours. And normally when he runs, he beats 8 and runs 5 metres. So that's much better.
5 tries in 18 minutes. Off the uprights. Unlucky for Madison. But 28 points to 2. Well, it was 2-2 at half-time here on our Nissan Friday night. Remarkable that it is now 28 points to 2. 5 tries in 18 minutes for the Broncos.
And one of the most pleasing things for Broncos coach Wayne Bennett must be the fact that they've done it without Alan Langer in this second half. He's the guy that's held them together right throughout this season, and for them to put on so many points without him must be a big plus.
He'll be enjoying it there, having his rest on the bench.
I'm sure he's got the Yuka cards next to him there somewhere.
Does not mind a gamble.
Tomorrow's form guide's on the other side of the cards.
It runs in halfbacks. Peter Sterling is a willing partner with Langer. Now Miles wanting to go wide again. Shearer. He beat McGaw beautifully. He beat Tanoi. Support inside off the hands of McGaw. 6 more. Renoff loses it. So Cronulla can breathe a sigh of relief.
Dale Shearer can really beat a player with ease, and he did in that run, and it's hard to imagine he's doing it tough finding a regular first-grade berth in this Brisbane Broncos side at the moment.
Again, a reminder about that Big League magazine available. All newsagents and at all grounds this week as we complete that split round 10 of the Winfield Cup.
And the top gun, the feature photo in the centre of Big League is Mario Fenech with the suspension to Mark Geyer. Will the shunning of Mario Fenech continue in the State of Origin side? And all the heads are going yes.
It could be, although it was the statement that selectors were saying they were treating him as a hooker.
Yeah, well, David Fairley was the shadow second rower. Maybe he'll get his chance. What a game to come into Dodge City in the State of Origin number 3.
G picking up the dregs now for Khan to take over. Tacklers are falling off everywhere now. A little knock on against Khan.
It's hard to imagine that this is the same Cronulla side that beat Balmain 44 points to 6 only about 6-8 weeks ago.
It's not really, Wayne, when you look at where Balmain are in the comp.
Thanks, Peter.
Do not lead with your chin.
I left myself open there, didn't I?
45 metres out the Sharks. Dolly. Just under halfway. Speechley for Teven. Teven still trying. Russell. Corkery. Corkery's trying to carry Madison on his back. Danny Lee. Danny Lee takes 2 defenders with him. But that's simple stuff. No real support play. Kick behind Khan. He gets to it. He's taken by Tanoi and also Staines. The Broncos playing with a lot of confidence now. Even from inside their 22, they'll be looking to go wide. Gilmister. Madison. Tough year for Les Davidson, who joined the Sharks, looking for better things.
I thought he was going to be the difference between them not making the 5 last year and getting in this year. I thought he'd given the toughness up front they needed.
Renouf. Russell in cover. One-hander back for G.
They are just not tackling. That was simple.
Now, last tackle, Kerrod Walters to Madison. Out wide, there is a chance still. On the last, Allen. Getting it back, Gilmister leaves it behind him. Shearer. Shearer takes his time, looks for the kick. And Shearer's having a big second half. Just weighted that nicely. One hop over the sideline. He knew that the play had broken down out wide on the last tackle, so he said, let's go 10 metres out from the Sharks line.
When he's hot, there's nothing that Dale Shearer can't do on a football field. That is not him making that horse noise either in the background.
Russell. 15 metres out. To the 22 now for Corkery. Danny Lee. It's got to be the end of their season now, Bill. Makes it hard to really keep plugging away, knowing that the semis have gone.
Well, mathematically, I suppose it's possible, but realistically, it's absolutely impossible. And with the style of football and the way they're playing and the way they're defending, you could never imagine them, winning enough games anyhow.
Now, kicked into the head or shoulder of Andrew G. Back to the in-goal Docking. Speed's back there. So does Curry.
Well, gee, I thought that was a second tackle there by Andrew G. Docking was down and he was forced down. I like Andrew G as a forward, but that was uncalled for. There he is. His progress is stopped. The player's got hold of both legs and in comes Andrew G. That's uncalled for. Docking weighs, I think I've said it before, about 8 stone in an army raincoat, and for a forward to come in like that when he's had his progress stopped, I think is a sin bin offence.
Well, you can see what he was trying to do. He was trying to force him from the field of play back into the in goal to get the line drop out, but you're right, it wasn't needed.
Maybe he'll be cited.
Trying to tell us something?
No, I just think that, there are things that happen in the game that are allowed and things that aren't allowed depending on who the player is. I think Mark Guy has been a marked man and he's been got.
Well, it does suggest that the suspension given to him, there was certainly an incident that was called for, and probably you're citing on at least one incident.
Certainly does, Graham, but if he did it while playing for Australia in the green and gold against Great Britain, it would be a hero. Not getting 5-week suspension. I think that stinks.
Cronulla with a rare burst. Danny Lee couldn't get it to Magor. 28 points to 2 to the Broncos. It's even. Ball bouncing wrongly for Hoff to go back now. What a long stride he's got. Bell can't keep with him. Now he catches him from behind.
Good tackle. Canterbury will be sitting home in their lounge room looking at this performance by the Broncos and giggling because they play the Brisbane Broncos on Sunday week here at Lang Park, and the Broncos can't play their representative players prior to the State of Origin. That's going to be a huge bonus for Canterbury.
Madison. It's such a shame that the rep season is so costly for semi-final football. Kerrod Walters is all alone. Now he gets it to Khan. Khan's got Renoff. Thrown over his shoulder, and it went back for Kerrod Walters. Not all the Sharks have got back to the line, but it's the last tackle. Gilmester. Long pass out. Madison. Madison for Miles. Miles to Curry. He hurdles a defender and gets himself into the try-scoring list. It's too easy now, but they have played some brilliant stuff in the second half, Brisbane.
Yeah, that's 30 points in the second half on the Nissan replay. Who wants a try time? Gilmeister, who's had a great game. A beautiful long pass out wide. He picks up Terry Madison. Madison says, who wants it? Gene Miles says, I do. Ball passed inside to the hurdling Tony Curry. And Curry, triumphant return to first grade, plants it down underneath the uprights.
Have a look at the Cronulla defensive line here. It's never set, and some players coming back with a pretty lackadaisical attitude. Mark Magor started to slide across the field to see if he could tidy it up. There was nothing he could do about it. Miles just kept the ball alive, got it back onto Curry, who has had a fantastic return into the top grade.
Tony Curry has been a representative player all the way to the top. He's a ton of class. He's battled with injuries the last few seasons.
Very good defensive player, and he's got all the skills in attack too, and one of the most experienced Broncos. He's played in the premiership winning team with Canterbury before coming back to Brisbane, and he's a class act.
Right next to the post and 10 metres back for Terry Madison. He's had a kick from wide out, hit the post. This time, he gets 2 points. Big scoreline of 34 points to 2. Brisbane over the Sharks. getting full value for their money. And as Teevan comes back to halfway for the restart, a frustrated Gavin Miller.
Yeah, it's a long, hard year for the Cronulla side now.
Shows his disappointment. I just wonder if the Broncos, have they left any egg on your face at all tonight?
No, none whatsoever. I mean, this is a performance, a good performance by the Broncos. It was 2-2 at half-time, and they've run well. But the defence of Cronulla, as we've seen in recent weeks, is not up to the standard of the top 5 sides. And Brisbane are going to have to improve on this to even beat Canterbury next week. And of course, they're going to have a lot of players out there. They can't afford to drop one game. As I said before the game, they won't make the 5. I haven't seen anything tonight that suggests to me that they will.
Maybe not even a light souffle that they're getting ready.
No, nothing.
Cronulla's defence reminds me very much of a demarcation dispute. They're waiting for one another to do the hard work, and that's their real problem.
Yeah, they're not gumming tonight. They're frozen. Little
chip ahead. Here comes Miles. He needs the bounce. He gets it now. Stans gets it to Khan. Tanoy in the way as Khan slips. It is just a repeat now as Cronulla rush back. Again a kick. Shearer's there, Docking's there, Docking gets pushed over. It'll come back for a Cronulla penalty. Shearer knows what it's all about.
Yeah, the referee indicating a shove in the back for a Cronulla player trying to get the ball. There's the kick through. Watch Dale Shearer here pushing Docking out of the way. Referee Annesley has given the penalty, and that was warranted too. Barry Russell tidying up, and with into the final 5 now. Big scoreline against Cronulla after 2-2 at half-time. 32 points in the second half for the Broncos.
Biggest win of the season so far for the Broncos. They did beat the Gold Coast this year 30-4. Massey. Quickly a game can change. It was Cronulla in the first half who had quite a few chances.
And they needed to put one of those chances over the line.
Davidson. He and Denny Lee continue to hit the line. They probably don't run with the support that they deserve. Russell. A quick step. Gets away. Again a step. Beat the tackle of Kevin Walters, but taken by brother Kerry. Docking, kicking. No penalty involved. Annesley says play on. Hoff. Hoff gets clear, and an overlap for Khan. Back inside, it's Khan. He gets away. He's got Renouf inside. Renouf wrong foots Magor. Back to Khan. Ball goes back. If it had been a clean one, Khan had no one left in front of him after that interchange. He was away. Now Massey striking at the ball before he played it. Gilmeister. Gilmeister to Miles. Nobody out there except plenty of Brisbane players. Miles is just going to hand it off as casual as you please. That was something of a basketball game where Miles was just swatting players away. He kept one hand free, and Hancock gets another one.
On the Nissan replay, big Gino Miles turns Harlem Globetrotter here and carries the ball in one hand. Once again, Gilmeister out wide with the pass to Miles. Look at Miles treating Cronulla with absolute contempt. No one wants to tackle the big fellow. Docking comes at him. He says to Hancock, you have the try. Try number 2 for Michael Hancock.
The Cronulla defence in this second 40 minutes has surrendered meekly, almost without a whimper. Have a look at Gene Miles here. Goes straight through Teevan's tackle. He did well here. I thought he positioned his supports particularly well. Held the ball in one hand. He played with them, really. It was a contemptuous effort. Got the ball back on there to Michael Hancock, who crossed. He was presented with a gift.
You never say no to a gift.
What about oysters from New Zealand?
Conway is back out there from 10 metres in from the sideline. He has a chance to maintain this 100% record.
Good goal kicker, this fella.
Last longing look at the posts. What a fine display as Conway makes it 5 from 5. Annesley just checking that the siren has sounded here at Lang Park.
Stop the fight.
I want to get off.
The fight is over. The fight was gone midway through the second half as the Broncos found another gear. The Sharks couldn't get it. They couldn't find one of their own. And the Broncos let everybody know that they're back in business and still hovering near the top 5. Plenty of players backing up from State of Origin duty. And the Broncos get away without having to use too much of Alan Langer, who was injured. Johns, Miles, Gilmeister, Shearer, Hancock a double, Curry with a try scorers. Conway 5 from 5, Madison with a goal, Teven just that lonely goal for the Sharks. A disappointing season for them, but it's the Broncos back on deck and online. Plenty of good players for them tonight. We'll be back after this with our Nissan Man of the Match. A tremendous second half from the Broncos here at Lang Park, and a tremendous second half too from our Nissan Man of the Match, Trevor Gilmeister. Something special must have been said at the break. It was 2-2.
Yeah, we knew we were in for a hard game, and I think you know, we stuck it out in the first half, and hopefully we thought we'd get a lot more ball in the second half and hopefully get a roll on, and you know, that's what happened. We've stuck our guns early and come out good.
You found yourself out wide a few occasions as a 5'8" trying to lay something on.
Yeah, well, it wasn't planned, that's for sure. But you know, with such a great back line, it's quite easy to fill in here and you know, just feed the backs out wide.
Very important win, Trevor, and most importantly for you too tonight, $1,000 from Nissan. Well played.
Yeah, thanks very much to Nissan, and also thanks very much to Bernie Power, who sponsored both sides tonight.
Yeah,
thanks.
he backed the winner.
Yeah.